Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to day 98 of my daily dopamine dunk. Today is Sunday, April 16th, about 8 a.m. right now. Got up this morning, got plenty of rest. Slept in this morning, got up, hung out with my wife a little bit, hung out with my daughter and my son. Messed around with them, talk about our plans for the day, and then, let them know, like, hey, all right, enough of this. I need to go in here and I need to make sure that I at least get my discipline in, get my habit in, and come out here and get, my dopamine dunk in. You know, um, a little bit, I guess, a little bit more challenging this morning, right? Because I didn't feel like I needed to, right? Because I woke up, later, had my wife and kids there, and the vibes were good, right? The morning was good. The sun's out, and it's like, you wake up on those days, and it's like, life's good. Life's good, right? Why do we need to go and punish ourselves? Why do we need to go out there and do this? But hey, just because, especially when life's good, especially when life's good, it's good to make sure that you stick to those disciplines and those habits, because usually that's how life gets good. You know what I'm saying? Usually, life is good when you're sticking to those disciplines, when you're getting in your habits, when you're getting after those challenges, because you feel good. You feel good. You go out there and you present, that confident version of yourself. You go out there and, you're presenting that better version of yourself, and you're going out there and you're being kinder and more patient, and, you're going out there letting your light shine a little bit more, right? And so, yeah, life's going to be better. But, we have to make sure that we make the choice, that just because life is great, right now, hey, we need to make sure that we make the choice to stick to those disciplines, stick to those habits that got us to this point, right? Because, that's just part of who we are. That's just part of who we are. That's part of what we've done to help build us up to this point, and so we need to make sure that we do ourselves the favor, do our families the favor, and we stick to those habits and we stick to those disciplines, so that we can continue to bring out that next best version of ourselves, continue, to strive to be better each and every day, because, hey, that'll make a great life, right? So yeah, I guess a little bit more challenging, to come in here and get out in the garage and, leave the family hanging out in the kitchen and, get on my robe and head out here. But, good, good to make that choice. Good, to have that realization, and, hey, let's get this going. Let's get day 98 daily dopamine dunk going and stick to that discipline. So let's go. Oh yeah, baby. That's brisk. Woo. A burr. All right. Mm. All right. Woo. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Woo. All right. Oh, man, I'm telling you. When we dunk our head, dude, it definitely kicks in that gasp reflex and steals the breath. Steals the breath away. But good. Definitely good getting that challenge in this morning. Again, well, like I was talking about right now, it's just hey, making that choice to get uncomfortable, making that choice to stick to that discipline. Even when things are going good, hey, maybe especially when things are going good, we have to make that choice to get uncomfortable. We have to make that choice, you know, to get after those challenges and those habits and those disciplines that have created, you know, this version of ourselves. Because, you know, just because we get to a certain point, you know, that doesn't mean that we get to fall off or we get to just drop off. You know, just because life is good for a couple of days, you know, doesn't mean that that it won't turn. You know, it doesn't mean that there won't be a challenge on the way, you know. Oftentimes, you know, we get super comfortable and life is good, and you know, we let off of our disciplines and we let off of those habits, you know. A lot of times, you know, we'll just start to fall back off and we'll start to take 2-3 steps back, you know. So actually, I read this article and it talked about, you know, man, right? So, single man will go out, will run, will lift, will eat well, will save money, will hang out with his friends, you know, go on trips, you know, have hobbies, have disciplines, read books, do all these things, right? Well, single man finds single woman, and they become a couple, right? Well, what does single man start to do as coupled man? Well, he starts to stop hanging out with his friends. He starts to lay off on his habits, on his disciplines a little bit. He stops reading those books, you know. He stops challenging himself because he's comfortable being at home, you know, with his significant other, you know, with his with his old lady, you know. So what happens? Hey, you know, feelings start to change because, you know, single girl fell in love with single man. And single man was different than coupled man, right? Single man was adventurous. Single man was, you know, took care of himself. Single man had pride in his appearance. Single man had pride in who he was. You know, single man was strong. You know what I'm saying? And coupled man, you know, he's kind of needy. You know, coupled man, you know, hasn't been eating right. You know, coupled man has missed a month in the gym. You know, coupled man isn't reading those books and isn't pushing after those goals as hard because coupled man is comfortable at home. You know, so, you know, what happens? Well, coupled girl, you know, gets tired of coupled man and becomes single girl again because she's looking for single man, right? And what happens to coupled man when he becomes single man again? He does everything single man did before, right? Starts taking care of himself, starts eating well, exercising, reading, going after his challenges, you know, all this stuff. And it's a wonder why, you know, coupled man and coupled girl didn't work out. Well, because they gave up what was their individuality. They gave up what made them them, you know what I'm saying? And they put their, you know, their self-confidence, they put that into another person. You know, they made sure that they had someone else to make them happy, you know. Instead of getting that run in to make them happy, hey, they had, you know, their coupled person in bed making them happy. They had their coupled person hanging out, you know, making them happy. Watching Netflix, making them happy, you know, eating popcorn, making them happy, which is great, you know, which is great to do. But you can't trade those things in for the hard things, right? For those things that made you who you are in the get-go. You can't trade them in, you know, just because you become a coupled man. So, you know, obviously, you know, I've fallen into that trap too. Me and my wife have been together since 2005, right? So that's what, 18 years this year, 2023 in September. Me and my wife would have been together for 18 years. So trust me, guys, I've fallen down this path. You know what I'm saying? It's a challenge, you know, it's hard, and we don't talk about it, you know, we don't even recognize when it's happening. But hey, you know, we got to make sure that you know, we make those right choices, you know, not just for, you know, and honestly, yeah, it may seem like a selfish choice, you know, that, hey, you know, I need to make sure I take care of myself. I need to make sure I exercise and I eat well. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. it may sound selfish, but it's actually one of the most unselfish things you can do, because what you're doing is you're taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others, right? Just like the old airplane analogy, right? When an airplane is going down and the little oxygen mask pops down, the stewardess or the flight attendant, they tell you, hey, put your mask on first before you put on your neighbors, because you have to save yourself first. Same thing here, we have to put our mask on first. We have to save ourselves first before we have to make sure that we're whole so that we can make someone else whole, right? We can't be, partial and then go out and try to make someone else whole. It doesn't work like that. So, we have to make that choice, stick to those disciplines, stick to those habits, go after those challenges that made us the men that we are, you know what I'm saying? So, good stuff, good little realization, especially for this Sunday, hanging out with the fam, chilling, enjoying the day, and, I already had my morning kind of going because everyone was awake, and it was just like, all right, I have a choice to make right now. I have a choice to make. Do I, leave the warmth of here, the good conversation, the love here, and do I choose to go out there and get in the cold plunge and, suffer a little bit? Or, what do I do? Well, hey, I do what single man does, right? Because single man has to take care of himself. Even though I am coupled man, we got to do some things that single man does, and we got to take care of ourselves. And hey, got to make sure, get in, say those gratitudes, say my prayers, set those intentions, get in here, get into the cold plunge, so that I make sure that I can present my best self today, right? And I can give my family that, and I can give the world that. So, go ahead and be a little selfish. Take care of yourself today, guys. Because you deserve it, your family deserves it, your friends deserve it, people out in the world deserve it. All right, 9 minutes. A little under 9 minutes. Go for about 10. All right, 10 minutes. Let's go. Woo! All right, guys, let's go out and choose to make this Sunday great. Woo! All right, guys, thank you for joining me for day 98 of my daily dopamine dunk. Woo! Good stuff this morning, guys. Good stuff. Good realizations this morning, right? Making those choices each day, and each day we do, hey, we find out, we learn a little bit, a little more something about ourselves, a little bit. We learn, sorry, tongue-tied from being in the cold plunge. We learn a little more about ourselves each time, right? We learn a little more about what makes us tick. We learn a little bit more about, who we are. And, hey, we learn a little bit more about who it is that we want to be, right? Making those choices, making the choice to stick to those good habits, making the choice to stick to those disciplines, and making the choice, to go after the next best version of ourselves each and every day, right? So yeah, good choices today so far. So Thank you guys for joining me for day 98 of my daily dopamine dunk. Hope that you guys can go out and choose, to present that best version of yourself today. Go out and choose to show kindness, love, patience, right? Go out and choose to motivate and encourage others. And most of all, guys, go out and choose to make this glorious Sunday great. Thanks for joining me, guys. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow.